supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Dynamic Dog Owner. I hope you are having a lovely week in the sunshine. As anyone in the UK will know, we've had a very slow start to the summer, but finally it seems summer is here. And it always makes us feel a little bit good, a little bit more positive. And this week we're going to talk a little bit about why, obviously the sunshine is great for us, but why dogs are actually really, really good for our health. Because we often think about, obviously, the benefits and all the ways we can improve our dogs' lives. But sometimes we forget how much that just having a dog actually improves our lives. You do have to spend an awful lot of time together. All pets are an absolute wonderful, great source of comfort, whether it be a guinea pig or a goldfish. I have fish, and it's amazing how much my fish actually interact with me. I know it sounds really strange, but whenever I walk towards a tank, they all rush over to the feeding hole and go, "Oh, hi." So even fish can have a really positive effect on our sort of positivity, our mental well-being. And sometimes we forget how much dogs do actually benefit us. I believe there are actually studies that say that watching fish in a aquarium actually produces a calm emotion in people. Pet fish, I know we can't officially pet them and stroke them, but they can obviously bring us huge benefit. Dogs are especially beneficial to both our mental well-being and our physical health. Over the years, they have generally been domesticated, and we tend to refer to dogs as man's best friend. And is that because obviously dogs rely on us, or is it because we rely on dogs? And there's so many studies out there and so many thoughts, but some people believe that obviously the bond we have with our dog is actually similar to the one we feel towards our own children. And potentially, I'm pretty sure most people would agree that most of the time, a lot of people feel a lot more affection towards their pets than they do towards their other half, so their significant other. Obviously, dogs don't annoy anyone. They don't answer back. They give lots of love. So they can often feel like the favourite member of the family simply because they listen and they don't ask for anything. I believe a few years ago, Valentine's Day, and the amount of people that actually chose to spend Valentine's Day with their pet over their significant other was quite high. So we're going to explore a few reasons as to why your dog is actually man or woman's best friend, and how they, without us even realising, develop and improve our overall health and improvement of our lives. So first of all, and I think this one's quite obvious, dogs force us to be more physically fit. We have to walk our dogs, or not necessarily walk them, but we have to exercise our dogs. We have to get up off the sofa. We have to get out of bed in the morning to make sure they go out for a wee, or to give them the exercise they need. So, things generally, most people think about fitness as going for a massive long run. I don't know about you guys, I couldn't think of anything worse. Getting up early in the morning, going for a run before work does not appeal to me in the slightest. But going for a walk with your dog is completely different. It's really hard to hit snooze on your alarm clock when your dog is going, "Hey, morning, let's get up." And they are normally quite active and ready to start the day. Obviously, every dog's different. My dogs are, I don't know how I manage it, but they are very much in tune with my body clock. And when I get up, they get up. So they will quite happily lay in bed till whatever time I want to get up. But equally, if I want to get up early and get out and exercise, they're very happy to come with me. So obviously we have to walk and exercise our dogs. And force us to exercise is probably the wrong term, but we have to exercise because our dogs need it. But also I think we have more motivation. We have more motivation to get up and get out if we have got a dog. We've got someone to take with us. If you don't want to go for a walk on your own, then you've got a friend, a companion, a reason to get up and get out in the morning. There's more motivation for us. It's more appealing to walk with a furry companion, a dog next to your side, than it is to go by yourself. So I think that's one reason for obviously getting out for a walk. But obviously you've also got dog sports, dog activities you can do, even if it's just getting up, going into the garden, interacting with them in the garden for a few minutes, playing fetch in the garden or playing with some toys, hiding some treats for them to find, just getting up and getting their food every day, it forces you to get up and do, which is really, really beneficial for us. And I'm sure, again, there have been studies, because there are studies everywhere, that say people with dogs generally have lower obesity rates than those without. And I was always brought up, whether this is true or not, to believe that you had a stronger immune system because dogs bring in naturally germs we're exposed to more, and therefore our immune systems are a little bit stronger. But equally, I think it's because the process of stroking them, etc., can trigger certain hormones and chemical releases in our bodies. So, loads of physical reasons why physically we are stronger, we are happier, whether we're out running with our dog, walking with our dog, going for big long hikes, doing agility, all of those things. It encourages us to get up, get out and do more physical exercise with our dogs. The other sort of big benefit, I think, and I think this one for me is the most important, is that dogs prevent loneliness. A lot of people rely on their dogs for company. And obviously humans, yes, we've got different spectrums. We've got people who actually prefer their own company. We've got people who are social beings and want to be out there partying with everyone and always be around people. Extroverted people, love that human interaction. But humans in general, we are social creatures. We do like to be around people. We need to feel loved, wanted. So do our dogs. So we're quite similar in that aspect, that we do want to be around people. Often we talk about, people talk about, and you hear often people refer to dogs being pack animals. Dogs aren't pack animals, but they are social family unit animals. They normally live in a group with a sort of roles of a group, just like we do in a family environment. But we don't just have to feel sort of love and connection from another person in order to be happy. Having that connection, love, relationship with a dog in our life is often able to prevent loneliness. So people who, for example, live on their own but live with a dog, people whose other halves work long hours, you've got a dog by your side. I know for me, when I had my children and they were very, very young, and my husband does do shift work, so I'd spend long days and often evenings and nights on my own with young children. There was always a reason for me to get up and get out and do stuff because I had a dog. So we got out and had fresh air. And in the evenings when I was home alone, babies were asleep, no longer, teenagers are always up. It was nice to have that dog social interaction. There was somebody else in the house. And for a lot of people, just simply having a dog in the house makes us feel like we aren't alone. It means that we've got someone to talk to, someone to talk about the weather with, someone to have conversations with, to share a meal with. Obviously maybe not the same meal, but you can eat at the same time as they're eating their dinner. There's an awful lot of companionship that is brought through having a dog. And the beauty of dogs, as we know, is that their love and devotion to us is 90% of the 99.9% of the time unconditional. They don't need us to offer much other than, safety, warmth, comfort, food. And they are extremely committed and devoted to us. And obviously, those kind of natural behaviours they show when they are trusting relationship with us. Dogs will often curl up next to you on the sofa or rest their chin on you or sleep on your feet or whatever it may be. Those behaviours that they often do can be a really good source of comfort, reassurance if we are feeling lonely long term or even just in the short term. And they do generally provide just as much of a well-being, positive emotion as a friend or a partner or a family member. I know for myself, having a dog has always been something. I've never really lived without a dog. I've been really fortunate. I had a dog, our first dog, when I was 4, and I've always lived with a dog. So I've never really been home alone. The only times have been like the odd gaps between dogs when I was growing up. And then when I rented a flat before buying my house, I had a few months where my dog didn't live with me. So when I'm in my own in the house, there's always been a dog there. So you don't realise how much they are there, because you're just never lonely until they're not there. Whether that's being, they're on holiday and you're not, or you'll go on holiday without them, and you realise how much you miss their company because they're just always there. Another benefit is dogs. I know obviously we talked about how much they provide us with social and sort of prevent loneliness, but they actually encourage social interaction. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're out with your dog, people talk to you. If you're out without a dog, you often will talk to people with a dog. So having a dog with you, or having somebody with a dog, or meeting people with a dog, it creates that topic of conversation, especially if the dog wants to come and greet you or greet other people in obviously a polite way. But when this may be just me, I'm sure it's not, but if you're out and you see another dog owner, you see the same dog owner every week on your walk, you generally start to have a little chat with them because you see them every single day. They become part of your life and part of your sort of daily routine, that you see whoever at the same time each day, or maybe just at the weekends, and you've got that common ground, so naturally you interact. How many times have you said, oh, whatever the dog's name is, Fido's owner down the road, and you've got no idea what the person's name is, but you know exactly where they live, you know what their dog's name is, you know how old their dog is, you know everything about their dog, and you probably know a little bit about them too, but you've got absolutely no idea what the human's name is. I'm sure all of us know that feeling. And obviously we see it in puppy classes as well. Remembering people names is really tricky, but remembering dog names, super duper easy. So you've naturally got that topic of conversation, and you've got that connection with somebody because you see them on the same walk each morning. Whether you've got a dog or whether you're walking without a dog, you see the same ones. You create that interaction and that friendship almost. And I say dog owners generally do create kind of that sort of welcoming atmosphere. And often when you do welcome a dog to the family, you sort of thrown into this new community where you meet people in the same space each week. Sometimes you've got dog meetups, you come to class where you see the same people each week, and your dog can actually be the kickstarter for you forming new relationships, maintaining relationships, meeting new people, and actually having confidence to get out there and talk to people, because you can talk about your dog, and let's face it, we all love talking about our dogs. You can talk about them. It's a nice pressure off way to start interacting with people, whether you are a social being or whether you are a little bit more introverted. It's a lovely conversation starter. Majority of people you meet with a dog are going to be sociable, nice, interacting and wanting to engage with you, which is really, really nice if you are a little bit nervous about interacting with people, or you just simply don't meet many people in your lives. Depending on what your life looks like, you may not have as many social interactions as you used to if you live on your own, are retired, between jobs. Then we have our dogs who are used as a form of therapy. We have therapy dogs, assistance dogs, support dogs, reading dogs in school, and through various organisations and charities. That is, proof that dogs have a mental, positive, psychological effect on humans. They make us feel good. We often use them and see them used in forms of therapy where dogs are present in counselling, talking therapies, say with children to help them feel relaxed, because a dog provides that sort of non-pressure interaction. They just quietly sit, and they often make people feel like they are trusted, and it gives them the confidence to open up and talk a lot more. So say in schools you often see that children will read quite happily to a dog, but if they're asked to read to the teacher, not happening. Same, I assume, in sort of therapy dogs. A lot of people will feel that comfort and that warmth and reassurance from having a therapy dog right next to them, that then allows them to feel safe and secure and opens up. So it helps to boost people's well-being and access to extra support if they need it. Obviously, you've got your assistance dogs who usually perform a task to help people, But often one of those big tasks is just providing that comfort and support. We know that dogs are used for a range of mental health support, physical access, and it makes the world just so accessible for people if you can have a dog and who helps you and provides that unconditional affection. And it's a huge benefit. Dogs don't judge. Dogs don't pass judgment. Dogs don't say the wrong thing. Dogs don't make you feel uncomfortable. All dogs do is make you feel really, really good. Yes, obviously I know we have a few teething problems when they're young, and we may have to overcome a few issues with them when they're growing up and learning, but 90% of the time all dogs do is make us feel so much better just simply by existing. So dogs are a therapy and will boost our mental health more than we realise. And I think, I say, like me, if you've lived with dogs for a while or always lived with dogs, you kind of take this for granted. You don't realise how much of a positive effect they're having because you're just so used to it. And a final point is that dogs help us sleep. Dogs help us to sleep better. Again, there's been studies that have shown that if we have a good bond with our dog, they can reduce depression and promote happiness, which naturally will help us to sleep better. If we are feeling good, we will sleep more restful and have more sound sleep. But sleeping with your dog supposedly promotes the production of certain brainwaves that help us to feel relaxed, and they encourage deep sleep. So that's deep, what's called REM sleep, and it helps us to get into that stage a lot quicker. And I fully believe this one because I never had a dog that slept on the bed. All of my dogs have always slept on the floor or done their own thing, not because they haven't been welcome on the bed, but just because they've not wanted to come on the bed. But now I have usually 2, sometimes 3 dogs on the bed. And obviously my guys are Labradors, so they're big guys. It's a cozy setup. But since Rem came to us from about sort of 10 weeks, he slept on the bed on top of me or next to me and has gradually, I'd say gradually moved away. He doesn't have to sleep with me anymore, but he prefers to sleep with me. He does often get off and sleep on the floor, but 90% of the time he's on the bed and he's normally laid as close to me as possible. Since he started sleeping on the bed 5 years ago, I sleep so much better. I used to struggle to get to sleep. I used to have a bit of an overactive imagination when it came to sleep time. So I would sort of hear noises and imagine things and start to get paranoid about certain noises and what was producing them. Now, since he sleeps in the bed, I don't worry about any of those things anymore. I get into bed, I've got my boy next to me who sleeps very snug, very close, and I sleep. And I sleep so much better because he is with me. And maybe it's just me, but that's where I believe that, you know, all of these sciencey facts that we learn and find out about are absolutely true because I've firsthand witnessed it. Maybe it's time to let your dog up on the bed, hey? Obviously, it's not right for everybody, but if it helps with sleep, why not? And we know that dogs are used in some therapy for deep pressure work where they provide that sort of sensory feedback and putting pressure by sleeping up close or resting their chin on children, on adults who need that feedback. Effectively, that's what dogs do when they sleep on your bed. You're providing a bit like a weighted blanket, that extra feedback, which means we can sleep better. So there are so many benefits to having a dog. And often I say we focus on the negatives, we focus on the training, we focus on all the tasks we need to do, but we often don't stop and look and think about how dogs actually benefit our lives and how good they are for us without us even noticing. So have a little think about you and your dog. Do these sort of ways that they are promoting good health, do they apply to you? Do they not? Maybe, you know, it may make you think, actually, I could use some of these skills. So for example, you know, the exercise factor. If exercise is a tricky thing, I'm going to do an extra mile with my dog each day, or I'm going to take them for a certain walk each day, add a bit more onto their walk. They're going to love it, but you're going to get that benefit. Can we use them to help us in certain areas where we're struggling, when we're lonely? Can we use them as a social buffer to help us in awkward social situations? And can we get them to help us sleep a little bit better? Can we share the bed and promote that better, deeper sleep so that we all benefit? And obviously, I think dogs benefit from that as well. Can it help improve our lives even more because we are aware of how they can improve our health and our mental well-being, and just in general our state of mind and our companionship? Good time to just celebrate dogs. We underestimate the power and how beneficial they are to our lives. So today's all about celebrating and how wonderful they are and how they're helping us. So hopefully that has been useful. You may have learned something that you didn't know before, and I will catch up with you all really soon. Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.